Hi, I'm Sebastien Heintz, President and owner of Zenith Aircraft Company, and I'm thrilled and happy to be here at Sun and Fun. It's always a pleasure for us to come back to Florida every spring for Sun and Fun. I've been coming here since I've been a little kid, and so for me it's always, spring break for pilots. So I love it and happy to be here again. We have a good grouping of airplanes here, of Zeniths here at the Zenith booth. And we actually, for the first time in quite a few years actually, we only flew one airplane down from the Zenith factory in Missouri, but we have a full group of airplanes here. This year we decided to focus more on some customer build airplanes, because at the end of the day, it's easy for a factory to build an airplane, but to see customer build airplanes. So it's kind of, we kind of brought that focus there, not only just on the airframe side, but on the engine side, different engines and so forth. Most of you that know Zenith know that we're agnostic to engine types, avionics and so forth, because Zenith is not the aircraft manufacturer, it's the individual builder that is the manufacturer. And so we kind of like to celebrate that with these airplanes out here. This airplane right here behind me, that's the Spirit of Lakeland airplane that was built right here in Lakeland, Florida by some Sun and Fun staffers, as well as some youth from the school program, after school program, that built this airplane. It's again a very unique paint scheme, and also a unique interior with the unpaneled display, and then also hand control so that it can be piloted by handicapped pilots. And so it's kind of neat to see, again, a unique one-of-a-kind airplane. And then we also have another Stoll CH-750 at the booth from Ramesh, and he was quite proudly telling me yesterday that he had $210 in his paint job. And now, if you look at the airplane from 10 feet away, it's a nice paint job, but it's a marine paint that he used, and him and his kids, they basically rolled it on. And I invite folks to come out and look at it. It's for $210. It's a great paint job for that price. And but Ramesh is very proud of the fact that for him, that's what he could afford, and that's what he did. And then the same on the engine side, he built his own Corvair engine up, or rebuilt, I guess, from a car engine, following William Wynn's techniques and so forth. But again, a really nice airplane that he was very proud flying it into Sun and Fun for the very first time. So that's the kind of things we love to celebrate. Businesses, we've been busy at Zenith. We have no aspirations of rapid growth. I think one of our reasons for success, I think, has been our ability to take care of our customers over the years, and to really view this business as a long-term business. And to keep up with demand, we are expanding finally. It's probably something I should have done several years ago, but we're finally, this year, we are expanding the physical factory up in Mexico, Missouri, adding a good 10,000 plus square feet to the facility, and that'll give us more ability to to stock a little bit more stuff, work on quick build kits, and quite frankly just keep up with the demand. We've been fortunate that demand has been a little bit higher than our ability to produce. We try to do as much in-house as well as possible, trying not to rely too much on outside suppliers, because we know that supply side has been a bit of a problem. So if I can just focus on getting aluminum and rivets and things like that, we can do the rest in-house, and that gives us a good control over that. Same thing, keeps our lead times a little bit more predictable. So continue to do that, and any growth that we do, we try to manage it very carefully so that we really don't lose our focus, which is taking care of our customers as well as we can. And we're always working on new projects. We typically don't like talking about stuff until it's available, because we don't want to be selling something that doesn't exist. And we do have a great complement of airplanes already out there, so which is why for customers that want to get building sooner rather than later, we've got great airplanes and kits available right now. When we develop an airframe, we really don't design it around an engine. We look at a power range and a weight range. Obviously, you have to look at that, and for performance reasons, for weight reasons, and so forth. But we try to keep it as open as possible. And when I look back on it, like an airplane like our Stoll CH-701, it's been around for 35 years, and there are engines on the market today that weren't available 35 years ago. So we try to, again, keep that open. When we develop a new airplane, we kind of look at what are the more popular choices available for customers, and even when I make choices that way, what is a good idea for me may not be a good idea for somebody else. Factors like required performance, budget, of course, is a big one. fuel availability is becoming more and more of an important one. Even some of the newer engines that use car gas, some of them only require high octane car gas, and that can be a problem sometimes. You know, good quality fuel in South America and Africa, that's kind of rare. And with these STOL machines, bush airplanes, a lot of these airplanes end up being operated in areas that are, you know, that are not served well like we are here in the United States. So I really leave those choices to the customers. You know, earlier this year we flew an electric airplane, electric Zenith down in the UK, and I'm a big believer in the future of electric. I still think it's a bit more the future than the present in many cases. But you know, like any new technology, there are going to be some advantages, some disadvantages, and as long as the long-term advantages outweigh the disadvantages, I think it'll be a promising technology. You know, Sun and Fun is always the start of our aviation year. Although, of course, Oshkosh is nearly right around the corner. It seems as soon as we get back home. But you know, we're happy to be here. We've had a great year, despite, you know, all the problems with COVID and supply side and inflation and all these things. We're still going strong, and I encourage all builders to come by and learn more about building and flying their own airplane. We continue to have lots of workshops at the factory, inviting folks to come to the factory, learn about building, learn about flying, actually go flying in a Zenith, and just to learn a lot more before you commit to a project like that. And so we really focus a lot on helping customers get to that finished stage. And so we invite folks to, you know, come out, learn a little bit more about these airplanes, and pick up the phone or come out and visit us in Mexico, Missouri.